Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So a few weeks ago I had a few of you ask me to do an update on my life and maybe explain some of the backstory for those of you who are new. So I'm going to try to go through the backstory part relatively quickly. If you have any questions, let me know. There are some things that I won't share with you. Please don't take any offense. It's the internet. So that was one of my kitties hopping up. I'm in bed. It's very early in the morning. It is Thursday morning. I'm here in New Jersey where it is very cold. It is currently 6 degrees and the real feel is -2. So I'm all bundled up in bed. The cold doesn't bother me that much. The heat bothers me much more, as many of you guys know. I'm on my heating pad because I threw up my back doing Instacart, which is not great. But anyway, I don't want to stray too far off this subject. So, I'm a single mom of two. Both of my kids are neurodivergent. My wonderful daughter has high-functioning autism, otherwise known as Asperger's. She is attending community college. The reason why she decided to do that instead of go to a 4-year is because she was given a scholarship for a full ride. So we figured that she would save her college money because she may want to go do a master's. She wants to be a therapist or a psychologist, so she's not sure yet. And then my son has ADHD. He's had some issues with his temper and mood management, that sort of a thing. And he deals with mood disorders as well. He takes medication. He is currently in our local high school for academics in the morning and goes to our local vocational school for mechanics in the afternoon. And he works part-time at McDonald's. You've seen him in the videos more than you have my daughter. So that's them. And I also have my elderly learning disabled sister living with us. She is a sweetheart. She can be very moody sometimes. Her disability is mildly intellectual. She has the educational equivalent of maybe, I think they told me 4th or 5th grade. Yeah, so that's why she's with me. And that's my family. I am divorced. I have had a couple long-term relationships in life. The longest one was my ex-husband. We were together all together. Let me think. By the time we divorced, probably about 17 years. Yeah, and we're still friends. And then there was my son's dad. That was brief in comparison. I won't go into all of that because it wasn't all that pleasant. And my cat's opened the curtain again. I'm going to pause so I can close it because the light. Okay. So I fixed that. My Daisy girl's with me. Well, she just jumped. I was going to show you her. So, let's see. And yes, getting on to the next thing. I do suffer from chronic illnesses. I have fibromyalgia, type 2 diabetes, GERD, dry eye. I have glaucoma. I've had eye surgery for it. That was an issue before I was diabetic. Yeah. So I kind of ended up with all of the family's genetic issues. They all kind of combined and created me. I do have high blood pressure, but it's controlled quite nicely. I suffer from anxiety, but that's under control through therapy and medication as well. I have ulcerative colitis. I do have disc damage in my lower back and my neck, and arthritis in my neck as well. The disc damage is from a car accident. That wasn't my fault. 2 years ago, I was rear-ended. The car was going at a high speed that hit me. Let's see what else. I have damage in my right hand from a work accident at my last employer 5 years ago. I had surgery to try to fix it and lots of physical therapy. Fortunately, it didn't really do much. So I have roughly about 30% loss of use of my right hand. I do get pain in my wrist that shoots up my arm from time to time. I have a lot of weakness in that hand. I drop things all the time. I can't feel the 3 middle fingers from the middle of the finger all the way up, and that makes it hard to grip things. So, unfortunately, I can't do what I did for a living anymore. And some of the other things that I deal with makes it hard too. I deal with intractable migraines, which in and of itself is quite a disability. I do get several headaches that last multiple days. The longest one I've had is 11 days. Actually, no, 12 days, and then I have to take steroids to stop it, to bring down the inflammation. And I do watch my diet. I don't really eat a lot of junk. Once in a while is a treat, but nothing crazy. So there's all my health issues. I think I did say GERD. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes it's hard to keep track of them. Oh, and this is not something that I deal with on the daily, but when I get sick, I do have cyclic vomiting. I'm not sure if I ever say that right. I believe so. And if you're not familiar, that is when your body cannot stop vomiting, basically. So then I have to go to the hospital and receive medication, IV, through an IV to stop it. I've been hospitalized a couple times for it because I get so dehydrated. So I know, if I'm going to have a stomach virus, that this is something that 9 times out of 10 will happen. So that's it for health issues. And so I am disabled, and I live on Social Security, disability, and child support, and a little bit of income from doing gig work with Instacart and DoorDash. I cannot get a regular part-time job because everything that I just mentioned makes me very unreliable. So it's easier for me to just, do the gig work and do it when I feel well. So that works out for me, because I never know how I'm going to feel from, day to day, or even from moment to moment some days. So I have learned to be very resourceful, and sometimes, it's a huge struggle. Oh, excuse me. I was a dental assistant for, let's see, at the time of the accident, I had 23 years, about 26 years with my internship. So yeah, I love what I did. I worked with anxious patients quite a lot. I worked in all areas of dentistry. I found it very interesting. Prominently prosthodontics. So yeah, I miss it a lot. Luckily, I still have contacts in the dental world, and I'm very grateful for that. So there's that. As far as Instacart and DoorDash goes, I've been doing Instacart longer, and I find that better for me. I'm able to make more money faster. I've been doing that on and off for about 4 years, and my goal is to at least be able to go out for 8 hours a week and earn about $100. that adds into my income, and I use it to pay for, some groceries or whatever we need. So very rarely am I able to do more than that. Sometimes I'm able to do 15 hours a week, but I try, right? That's all I can do. So I do get very tired because, oh, I forgot to mention, I do suffer from anemia. I cannot take iron orally, so I have to go for iron infusions a couple times a year. So usually there are a series of 5 or 6, usually every 6 months. So yeah, I'm coming up on that. So, yep. And please don't come at me about my health problems. I had somebody doubt me about 3-4 months ago and tell me that there's no way I could have all that and that I was probably seeing the wrong doctors that like to diagnose. But I've been kind of sickly ever since I was a child, and these things are not easy to live with or to accept. And I do try my best to live a very healthy lifestyle. I always have. In fact, when I first started to not feel well, um, I was in my prime. I was in my mid-20s. I was exercising, 6 days a week, and I had a very clean diet. So, yeah, it's not always what you guys might think. So, let's see. We live in a very old house. It's 120 years old. We live in the largest apartment in the old house. It can be a little wonky sometimes. It's not perfect, but unfortunately I can't move. I don't have the resources and everything else around me right now, and I need to keep my son in the district for school, is higher. We've been here for almost 5 years, and we pay $2,600. The rent, thankfully, has only been increased once. The $2,600 I do have difficulty paying sometimes because it's hard when you're on a fixed income. So, I do the best that I can, and I've been trying to get low-income housing, or Section 8, for years now. I was actually still working when I first started to try, because rent in this area, and I know in a lot of areas like this, has just gone through the roof. So, one of my biggest fears, especially when my children age out of, oh gosh, I'm sorry, a little brain fog, age out of child support, is that I am going to end up homeless. So I'm trying to prevent everything. Trying to prevent that with everything, I should say, that I've got. So, let's see what else. I have had, a few long-term relationships in my life. I was married to my ex-husband, my daughter's father, for almost 17 years by the time we divorced. And let's see. Then there was my son's dad, which was brief in comparison. I won't go into the details of that. That had a major impact on my life. And then I dated a couple people here and there. I really didn't date seriously for quite a long time, 5 or 6 years, when my kids were little. And then there was a lot of times when they were little, because one of the kids, and I won't go into which one because I don't want to smear anyone, was not being properly supported by their father. So I had to work 2 and 3 jobs to make my ends meet. And to tell you the truth, I think that that was to my detriment, and I think that hastened a lot of the health problems that I have now. But what can you do? I had to make it work. Yeah, so there was that. And then I was with one man for 6.5 years. We were engaged, and I won't go into the issues why we broke up, but unfortunately he started to practice some behaviors that were not good for my children or myself to be around. He changed quite a bit, and he also didn't like my son's behavioral problems at the time, and he tried to make me choose between him and my son. So that wasn't going to happen. And then that brings me to my current partner, who I'm not even sure what's going on, and you guys know all about that. So we are currently on a break. And what do I like to do? That was another question. Well, it takes me a long time to get through what I have to do, meaning in the house, and I do have quite a high standard, but I'm not always able to keep things to that high standard because of the health problems, and I don't have a lot of help in the house. So I try my best to keep the house nice and neat and tidy and very clean. You know, that's the way that I was raised. And that takes up a lot of my energy. So yeah, I like homemaking. I always have. I like to create a cozy, warm family environment. So, you know, I spend most of my days doing that. I love to cook, as you guys know from the videos. I love to create, new frugal recipes. I love my cats. I love cats and animals in general, and I do volunteer with a rescue. I feed feral cats one morning a week. I would do more if I could. I have been a foster. I have fostered many, many kittens. In my lifetime, I've rescued many cats and kittens. In my younger days, I'd be on my belly crawling into a crawl space to get the kittens out. Unfortunately, sometimes their moms would go out, for food or what have you, and then she wouldn't come back. And so we'd have these little kittens underneath buildings and whatnot. So, yeah, I've spent a great deal of my life doing that, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love to take walks. I love to go to the beach in the summer and just take in the salt air and the breeze. It's so beautiful. We're so lucky that we live in such a great area that we have so much to see, that even if I can't afford to go on a vacation, which there have been very few in my life, there's always something to do or something to see. So, I always try to maintain that positive mindset, and you guys know that. It goes a long way. So if there's any other things that you would like to know about me, please feel free to ask in the comments. I'd be happy to answer. Like I said, I'm not going to divulge everything about my life, but I will share, what I feel is appropriate. Also, I do like to craft. Sometimes it's hard to find the energy to do that after I do everything that I have to do. I like to garden. Same situation. I am not able to get down on my hands and knees anymore and plant in the ground, but I do containers. And I did grow some vegetables last year. I'm hoping I do better with them this year because I didn't really know what the hell I was doing last year. I just kind of winged it and read a lot and went on advice from friends. So there you have it. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful morning. I hope you guys are warm wherever you are. And I look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments. My channel mostly focuses on frugal living, an abundant lifestyle on a low income, lots of frugal cooking, life hacks, all things being a mom, all things midlife for us ladies, dealing with chronic illnesses, maintaining a positive attitude, all those sorts of things. I keep it real with you guys, and I try to take away stereotypes that a lot of people have connected with having a lower income. So that's what my channel is about, and if that's content that you're interested in, please feel free to hit subscribe. I'd love to have you as a part of our community. Also, like, and share. All right, guys, I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves and be kind. Bye. Sending love from New Jersey as always.